This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Today we're going to be talking about something that I didn't realize until I start opening up a couple of things. And the thing that kind of scratches my head, and I always remember this, you know, from when I was younger, an expansion for something never would come out until you've played a game for a while. It was a way to add to a already successful game. But nowadays, it just seems like every game comes out and then it comes out with a whole bunch of expansions. And that doesn't make any sense to me. Because expansions are supposed to be once you complete all the gameplay, okay, and you want more, okay? So if you have everything at once, is it just one big game? And can you call these things expansions? You know, I used to be excited a bit when I would get something and it had the expansion. Oh man, I'll be able to play forever. Oh, I want this expansion, that expansion. But I found it took away and I never would get to the expansions. You know, I just got a couple expansions in, which kind of made sense, and it made me think of this, was ISS Vanguard. I've played the game and so forth and so on. Have I completed it? No. But it wasn't until a year later that I got an expansion in. And I went, oh, okay, this is great. And I brought it in. And I started looking at it because I've already kind of put some time into the game. But when the game comes with expansions, you know, for all the things that we could say about Onslaught and overpriced and a complete mess, they release expansions after a certain amount of time. Okay, maybe the only thing that WizKids does right nowadays. But it makes sense. I just bought a game, RuneScape Kingdoms. It came with expansions. And I wasn't even sure if I was going to like the original game to begin with. I do, thank God. And now I have the Black Dragon expansion, but will I ever get to it? I don't know. I think it almost becomes of a cash grab. But don't you think that you would make more money if you left them wanting more? Okay? Less is more. It gives you time to develop these expansions. You can find out how people feel about the game after a while, after you get the feedback from the game. Can an expansion fix a game? Yes, it can. If you give it time to get all the feedback from the original. Yes, you have playtesters. Yes, you have that. But it isn't until you bring it out into the general public that you get a complete, full experience. Okay, we're fine. You know, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 people play it, and maybe one guy finds that one way to break the game. Okay, an expansion can add to it and also have things that fix it. And yes, they have FAQs and this, that, and the other, but if you put it all into an expansion, you're going to make more money. Especially if you are concentrating and giving everything you have to the main game. Not saying, well, here's the main game, here's the rules, and let's try 15 expansions and this type of figure and that type of figure and add these rules. You're spreading everything too thin. Some people can do it very well, but other people can't. And it doesn't make sense. And then once the game is figured to be broken, or maybe you know, people play it a certain amount of times, then you have all this excess that doesn't make sense. And it kind of hurts in a business model sense, unless you're going for that Kickstarter quick grab. Hey, unlock this, unlock that, unlock this, unlock that. Which seems to be the thing, which started this whole expansion madness. Instead of coming out with a solid, put together, well thought out base game, and then seeing what the successes, the weaknesses, and the strengths of the game are, and building upon that into an expansion and coming out with it, and then everybody going, this game, and say what it does. It fixes this, adds this. Oh, solo mode's in it. Here's extra figures, this, that, and the other. You're going to sell just as many, or if not more. If the game's bad, well, you got to look at it that way. Then you don't have to waste all that money for the expansions. Yeah, you may have got the money up front, but will you ever have a customer again? Will a customer come back and drop their $400 or $500 for the base game and 27 expansions? They're going to be a little more leery with what you do. Thus, YouTube influencers, if they're not on somebody's payroll or being paid to do something, you can probably get a good feel for that game. Okay, and the feedback could help the distributor put out a better game. Some people don't care and just want to get it to market, okay, and try to get in and move on to the next project. But this onslaught of expansions doesn't make sense. The only people that seem to be doing it and have people screaming at the high heavens is Games Workshop. How long have we screamed for an expansion for Space Hulk? Or other expansions? When Blood Bowl came out, fantastic. Okay, they waited a year and a half, Dungeon Bowl came out. It was great. You couldn't find it. It was sold out everywhere. Because it was done in a certain way. It was done smart. And then after that, you had an expansion to that. You add armies. That's an expansion. Did they come out with every single team, not army, team at once? Did they put it on Kickstarter? Did Games Workshop go on there and say, well, we're coming out with the 5th edition or 4th edition, whatever you want to call it, a Blood Bowl. And if you unlock all these things, we're going to give you every single army. No. Every half a year, all of a sudden, now we have gnomes. Never played gnomes in the past. All right, I'm curious now. Okay? I love Blood Bowl. I love Dungeon Bowl. I love all the different colleges and things like that, for Dungeon Bowl. I love all the different teams that they're coming out with and boards and stuff like that. It makes me grab it because when I play it and I play that team for a while, and I go, okay. All right, let me walk away from this. Oh, wait a minute. They're coming out with what else now? I wonder how they would do against my chaos. Squashed, of course. I wonder how they will do against the undead, the dwarves, and so forth and so on. Do you see where I'm getting at? Where you can do more with less? And it doesn't beat everybody up all at once. Oh, well, I gotta get it all right now. Because then you can't get the expansions. Which doesn't make sense. You can't get expansions for a game that you may like if you don't buy them with a Kickstarter or when they originally come out, because everything will be sold out and that'll be the end of that. Instead of building hype, seeing what the game's about, seeing what the market is for that game, and then going, hey, boom, I'm going to hit you with this massive expansion. Boom. Right in the jaw. And we all run to the store. And we all run to our favorite website, Miniature Market. And we all run and we get this. We reserve it because oh, I've been longing for more of this. And it helps with the game because when you play the game, okay, and there is a time that goes by, okay, and you've stopped playing that game and you forgot about that game and maybe it's sitting on your shelf, and then all of a sudden an expansion comes out, you go, oh, they just announced an expansion for that. Comes off the shelf. Now you're pre-ordering. Man, remember this was good. More material for it? Bet you played those expansions a lot more. How many of you on your shelves right now, and I'm one of them, I'm raising my hand first. I'm raising the old right arm first. Have gotten all these games that came out with all these expansions when they came out at the Kickstarter, whatever, you buy it on eBay, however you do it. Play the original game, and those things sit on your shelf still in shrink wrap. Bet you a lot of you. Of course, there'll be that one guy, oh no, I play everything. Okay, good for you. You're the one guy that they've been targeting, okay, instead of the 10 million. It's missing out on opportunity, okay, to create more business. Especially if people are eventually going to go, you know something? Why am I going to buy the expansion for this? Recently, games are just announcing expansions to come out, and people are clamoring for those expansions because they give the game time to mature. I would like to see a lot more of that. I think it makes more sense. It's sensible, it's smart, and it helps the consumer as well. It doesn't beat them up in these times of where you're squeezing dollars in this thing where if you don't get it now, you're not going to get it later. I just think things could be done smarter, and the word expansion sends shivers up my spine now, which never did. Unless there was an expansion for Space Hulk, which God knows we'll never, ever, ever, ever get. What can I tell you? I would love to hear how you feel about this. And maybe you think I'm wrong. That's okay. Leave it in the comments. Let me know how you feel. And until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.